Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Grief Drums, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down everything you're going to need to know about Operation Shifting Tides, including taking a look at Wamai, the brand new defender that is coming this season. So I just wanted to start off by saying initially I was going to make an entire video about Wamai, but due to some last minute NDA changes, I was a little bit limited as to what I could do. Couple that with the fact that there's actually not a massive amount to say about him, I've decided to go ahead and chuck it at the beginning of this video, and then I'm going to cover the rest of the operation in the later half of the video. So if you want to skip to that, I'm going to put a timestamp down below. But let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at this brand new defender. So the reason I don't have a massive amount to say about him is because it is pretty much just an alternative to something we already have with a few slight tweaks. He is obviously an alternate to Jager, and he catches everything in his magnet. This thing kind of looks like a frisbee that you go ahead and throw out. It can be placed on pretty much any surface. You can use it like Ella mines just inside of the door, or you can put it on the outside of the door. The area of effect of this thing is actually pretty big, and unlike Jager, who just destroys any throwables, Wamai actually catches them and pulls it in. What it does is it resets the timer on anything that's been thrown, like a grenade for example, and it will pull it to that magnet device. So if that's just outside of the room near the attacker's going to have a bad time when that grenade comes flying back towards him. This opens up a lot of different playstyles because you've obviously got the opportunity to use their own utility against them rather than just going ahead and destroying it. They are a one-time use thing, so as soon as it has caught that bit of utility, it will go ahead and destroy itself afterwards. But probably the most important thing about this operator is that not only does it catch all of the throwables like flashbangs, smokes, and grenades, but it also catches things like Capital's fire arrows or smoke arrows, Gridlock's cluster charges, and it even catches the new Kali under barrel gadget. I cannot wait for people to use this in game, and then out of nowhere, something like a firebolt comes flying around a corner to actually hit their own team. Or accidentally creating a line of sight because a grenade has gone off and it opens up a line of sight onto the attackers. That's going to be amazing. It does work kind of like Legion in the sense that you start with one and over time you gradually gain more and more and more throughout the round. So the longer you're alive, the more of these you're going to have, obviously. Other than that, all there is to say about Wamai is the fact that he is a 2-2 defender that gets access to IQ's AUG, the MP5K, and the Keratos pistol. Now, all of these are amazing weapons in their own right, and I really do enjoy using all of them. The only thing I will say is that the AUG AR does not have access to the ACOG. That doesn't mean that IQ loses access to the ACOG, she still gets it. It just means that Wamai doesn't. Right, moving on from there, let's go ahead and look at some of the changes that are coming as part of Operation Shifting Tides. There are some really cool quality of life fixes, coupled with the theme park rework that we're going to be getting, which is going to be the first thing we take a look at. So as far as this map goes, obviously theme park was removed last season. It's going to be coming back into both ranked and unranked. I'm not sure if it's coming into casual, it might be. But either way, everyone's going to have access through the Discovery playlist, no doubt. But as far as this map is concerned, for the longest time it has seemed like two separate maps that have been divided by the train section in the middle, and now that is no longer the case. What they've done is they have pretty much just cut the trains out and squashed the map together, and by doing so, the map is a lot tidier. It's smoother, the gameplay feels better, and it's just more fluid. It doesn't seem like there's this big disconnect in the middle. While doing this, they've also increased the lighting, they've made it a lot clearer. It is genuinely a lot nicer map to play. And they've also gone ahead and reworked the entire haunted house side of the building and replaced it for things like the throne room and the dragon area, both of which are really clean, really nice. And this has also caused a shift in bomb sites on the lower floor. So there is a whole new bomb site for you to learn, but the fluidity of this map just feels so different, it really does. Certainly around the main lobby area, that is now closed off, and the only way in is through one of the windows that were there. All sorts of other windows are moved around, but the map is still recognizable. There's still certain areas like the drug lab, and the bunks and stuff upstairs. It's still pretty much the same, but there's some really good quality of life changes that have occurred. Speaking of quality of life changes, the next thing I wanted to take a look at was the rappel exit. Now, this caught me out when I first started playing because I didn't realize it had been added into the game. But how many times have you been on the rappel upside down, and just as you're about to get a line of sight on someone, you accidentally tap up and you start the animation to actually get up off the rappel? You then get entered into that really lengthy animation and someone jumps out and kills you, and there's nothing you can do because you just weren't ready for it. You didn't mean to get off the rappel. It can be really frustrating at times. Now what they've done is they've changed it so you're going to have to use either the spacebar or A or whatever button it is that you've got allocated to actually come off the rappel, it doesn't really change a massive amount other than make it so that you stop rappelling when you want to stop rappelling. This is one that I know a lot of people are going to be happy with, especially people that play on Windows quite a lot, and it's definitely a real positive to have this added into the game. The next quality of life change that I am so pleased with is the addition of limb penetration. How many times have you been adamant that you've just headshot someone, but if you slow the footage down, you actually hit like a hand in front of the face where they were flashbanged or something like that? As you'll see from the footage in the background, what they've done is they've gone ahead and reworked this so that if you shoot someone's hand and it goes through their hand and hits either a torso or the head, the highest amount of damage will then be recognized. So to explain that a little bit better, if you hit someone in the hand and it did 5 damage, for example, and it went through that hand and did 50 damage on the body, it would ignore the 5 and just take the 50 damage. If a headshot is 100 damage and it hits the hand first, it will just read the headshot and say, you know what, it's gone through the hand, hit them in the face, that is a guaranteed headshot. Because of this, it's definitely going to make flashes a little bit more powerful, although I think there's still going to be a massive amount of inconsistency there. And it's the same with Ying. If you go ahead and Ying into a room, you're going to stand a bit of a better chance of actually landing those shots because that's one less thing to contend with. But whether they're going to be blind or not, I really don't know. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the casual playlist change. It is no longer going to be called casual because I don't really want it to reflect that sort of a play style, and it's instead become quick play. The difficulty with this is we all know it is casual. It's always going to be casual, I think. But by changing the name, hopefully any new players that come in aren't going to treat it like that. They're going to treat it as the quick play game mode. So casual is out, quick play is in, but there are still a lot of different game modes. You've still got access to quick play, newcomer playlist, unranked, ranked, discovery playlist at the beginning of a season, and any mid-season games that are out. Whilst I do appreciate the newcomer playlist for what it is, I think it's kind of just become a bit of a stomping ground for Smurf accounts. And certainly at the beginning of last season, I know just trying to get into certain game modes, I really struggled because the player base was starting to thin out a little bit. So, you know, whether this is still the play or not, I don't know, but it's definitely good for someone to be able to just go into quick play and mess around if they want to. I fully appreciate that some people don't want to play ranked. They don't want to do unranked with the pick and ban. They just want to just jump in, play the game, and just have fun with it. And I think a lot of people do forget that. The very final thing we're going to look at today is going to be the release of a brand new Elite skin. This was one that I didn't know anything about until I got to the Ubisoft office in the UK. If it had been leaked, I'd managed to avoid it completely, and I was so stoked when I saw it because of that very reason. But this season, we are going to be getting the Capitão Elite skin. He's clearly off for a game of footy in the favelas of his boys, and I tell you what, I really do like the look of this. Whether it's as good as some of the others like Thatcher, for me, probably not, but the Elite skin itself is still really cool. I'm afraid that's going to be it for today's video. I'd love to hear your thoughts, though. Is there anything that you didn't like? Is there anything that you do like about this season? What is your favourite quality of life change? Do you think it should have come sooner, or are you happy that we finally got it? Let me know down in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, please consider hitting that thumbs up. If you don't already, make sure to subscribe for all things Rainbow Six. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay reckless and relentless.